take it from inside the 10-yard line. The reserve wide receiver with the good block on the play by Patrick Pass. And on the run and chased on the play by Earl Little. He will take it the distance.
Comes off and Mesa, watch out. Here's your dunk champ.
Wow.
And there's the Minister of Defense again.
You just had the birth of your first child. It wasn't.
Oh, look at that shot.
Vinny. He's looking for the 7 here. And it is caught and inbounds is Keyshawn Johnson. Touchdown, Dallas. Gonna give it to Jones. Through the middle, Julius Jones. Touchdown, Dallas.
Big run.
Simply the finest football on the planet. The top clubs. The elite players. In a quest for the ultimate prize of European football. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
15 minutes to go from FedEx Field. The Eagles on top of the Redskins, 17-7. Washington at its own 37-yard line. Terrell Owens and company looking for that 12th win of the year. They lost once to Pittsburgh this season.
Terrell Owens has brought, both he and Javon Curse, you can see it tonight. This is the difference in the Eagles from the previous 3 years. He has brought a toughness to this receiving corps, as Javon Curse has brought a physical nature to the D-line.
Ramsey Coles can't get there because Lito Shepard had a hand up in his face, knocked it away. Excellent defense.
Well, you're talking about a hand up in somebody's face.
Yes,
Javon Curse was in Ramsey's face again. Boy, you're not going to fake Javon Curse out. I'm sorry. He got to the outside, was where he's supposed to be, and Ramsey, all he could see was green and arms. Look at this.
Watch the big arms go up.
Watch what Ramsey sees. Body, arms.
Every time we meet with Javon Curse and he's sitting across the table and he puts his hands out, they look like hams.
Look like
they're enormous.
Knuckleball catcher's mitts.
Ramsey drilled that one, nearly intercepted.
Sooner or later, you've got to get these corners to back off somehow, some way. Lito Shepard already has 4 interceptions. We talked about 2 have been run back for touchdowns. But the longest completion that Patrick Ramsey has is what, Paul?
18
yards.
He's got 2 of them, though.
Oh.
Well, that one was Sheldon Brown's opportunity. I mean, he was just all over that route. Tupa to kick to win. Wynn trying to get to the near side, then cuts it back. There is a flag down as Wynn gets out to the 46-yard line. 47-yard punt.
That's probably going to go against the Redskins.
Well, almost all the other ones have.
Yeah.
They've committed an awful lot of penalties all year long.
Before the kick, offensive hold, number 29 of the kicking team. That penalty's declined. First down.
Well, it's got to be frustrating for Joe Gibbs. Let's check in with Susan.
Mike, the rematch is a battle. 3 weeks ago, the Eagles took the win. Tonight, points tough to come by until Donovan McNabb finally loosened them up. 17-28, 244 yards and a touchdown. And that Redskins offense, they want everyone to know the growing pains are over. Lavernius Cole is one of the toughest receivers in the game. The Redskins D shined all season, but they can't hold the veteran. Darcy Levens bangs his way in to make it 17-7 with 1 quarter to go.
And Susie, I've really got to agree with what Joe and Paul have been saying. Until you threaten somebody downfield like this, and Smoot is back there in excellent position. with Pinkston. Until you threaten somebody downfield, you've given the corner no reason whatsoever to back off more than 12 yards.
I think Jim Johnson, the defensive coordinator of the Eagles, does a great job of making you believe that they're in man-to-man coverage. Those corners sit about 6 yards. Now, you're not sure whether they're playing man or they're sitting there in zone. I think you have to make them define what they're going to do. Talking to Patrick Ramsey, he said that, you know, this defense of his, they don't blitz as much. They just bring people from different places. Maybe 5, not necessarily 6 or 7 very often.
McNabb short set this time. What an excellent play by Sean Springs, who went out and got Greg Lewis. Back to Jim Johnson for a second. Andy Reid said when he was an assistant coach in Green Bay, he told himself if he ever had the opportunity to become a head coach, he was going to try to hire Jim Johnson as his defensive coordinator because he admired him so much, even at that stage of his career. And Andy Reid, true to his word, went out and got Jim Johnson. It's been a great marriage between these two.
A very similar approach that Joe Gibbs took when he went and hired Greg Williams.
Absolutely.
He wanted a pressure defense coach.
Big play here, 3rd and 8. McNabb, and that one's tipped and intercepted. Sean Springs after Taylor tipped it.
Sean Taylor knocks this ball up in the air, and I don't know where Donovan McNabb was throwing this baby. But I'll tell you what, Sean Taylor did a tremendous job to keep this ball alive. He couldn't intercept it. It was on fire when it came out. Look at Sean Taylor. Bang, knocks the ball up. Sean Springs gets it. Washington has the ball.
Take it from inside the 10-yard line. The reserve wide receiver with the good block on the play by Patrick Ness. And on the run and chased on the play by Earl Little. He will take it the distance.
Comes off, and Mason, watch out. Here's your gun champ.
Wow. And there's the Minister of Defense again. You just had the birth of your first child. It wasn't. Oh, look at that shot.
Vinny is looking for the 7 here. And it is caught. Inbounds is Keyshawn Johnson. Touchdown, Dallas. Gonna give it to Jones. Through the middle, Julius Jones. Touchdown, Dallas.
Big run. Best of Friday night fights on ESPN. After conquering the USBA light heavyweight title, James Harlem Hammer Butler wanted to avenge an early defeat in his career against Richard the Alien Grant. Friday on ESPN. On ESPN Tuesday night, an all-star matchup on a special night. The champion Detroit Pistons travel to New York to battle one of the best in the East. Pistons versus Knicks live Wednesday night. The NBA on ESPN.
ESPN Sunday Night Football, brought to you by espn. So good, it doesn't even know it's low carb. Kia Motors. Kia, make every mile count. UPS, what can Brown do for you? And T-Mobile, get more minutes, more features, more service.
One of the beautiful scenes here in Washington as we approach the holidays, and Donovan McNabb has thrown only his 6th interception of the entire season. Ramsey trying to get something out of it. He nearly returns the favor, and Portis makes the grab, gets down to the 35-yard line, and a flag is down.
Mike, I want to show you that interception that Sean Taylor wound up tipping to is Sean Springs. There's the pass track. We're going to show you. That's where Donovan wants to throw it. You see Sean Taylor tip it up in the air. The distance is 30 yards. The ball velocity is 60 miles an hour. Now that equates to a 101-mile-an-hour fastball from a pitcher in baseball. But you see, he's nowhere near T.O.
Clinton Portis is the injured player. Comes up limping at the end of that play.
There was a face mask on that play, a 15-yarder. Here's Clinton Portis, and here is the face mask. Trotter grabbed him by
his ankle twisted in the same motion. But the Redskins are down to the 21-yard line.
One of the things the Redskins, you know, when you talk about Clinton Portis, he's carried the ball 18 times for only 66 yards. And now you're going to try, he's not doing anything. You try to run play action to him. That doesn't hold anybody.
The Redskins are always rushing to get to the line of scrimmage. Here with 4 seconds to go, they barely get up and get set.
And Ramsey drops the ball, the snap from center. They blow the play dead. The clock management for this team has just been dreadful.
And I think the coaches have to take some responsibility for this. You cannot, after a penalty, run down.
False start. Offense. Left guard. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
You should not have to run the clock, the 25-second clock down to just about nothing when you're coming off of a penalty.
Exactly.
Plenty of time for the coach and the quarterback to communicate.
I don't understand the play calling. I really don't.
Portis is back in the game. Portis will take a toss. Portis is going to throw the pass, and that was nearly intercepted.
I don't know what Clinton's jumping up and down about. That one wasn't even close. You know, and we saw Randy Moss in the Minnesota Viking game earlier today. The Vikings are fighting for their life. They got a chance at the end of the game. They try an option pass. Here comes another one.
This is Clinton Portis doing something that he doesn't do very well. But I'll tell you what, watch Javon Curse 93. You think they hold him? Look at this. They throw him on the ground.
Well, now the Redskins facing a 2nd and long, and they nearly threw away any chance they had of getting back in this game. Coolin inside the 5 to the 2, and somehow that ball got through to Chris Coolin.
It's always a good idea to let the throwers throw and the runners run every now and then.
Yes, it is.
But boy, does Patrick Ramsey set and fire this one. Look at the right side. Nice move by Cooley. He just gets that right by Dhani Jones. I mean, right by him. And in front of Michael Lewis. Now, keep in mind, Chris Cooley was a defensive end till his sophomore year in college, so he's still learning to be a tight end.
1st and goal. Portis dives, touchdown. The Redskins get an interception, and they make the Eagles pay for it.
Big play in the passing game set that up.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something. Most of this offense going down the field was sloppy. But this is Portis getting into the end zone. I'll tell you what, we've said it enough times in this ball game, but they've got to get the plays into Ramsey a lot faster than they're doing.
And it's not just tonight. This has been going on all year with this club.
Mike, you and I live here in Washington, and we've seen it.
And just think what they almost did with the halfback pass. That could have easily been picked off and stopped this drive. As it is, Portis gets the touchdown on the ground. Instead of throwing for it, we're back to a 3-point game.
The NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. These guys are tough. The NFL on ESPN. The NBA on ESPN is back for a new season, and we've got you covered with the week's hottest live matchups, plus highlights and more on NBA action. The NBA on ESPN. Don't miss a minute. Best of Friday night fights on ESPN. After conquering the USBA light heavyweight title, James Harlem Hammer Butler wanted to avenge an early defeat in his career against Richard the Alien Grant. Friday on ESPN.
Monday Night Countdown, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. The best place to get ready for Monday Night Football. Then on ABC at 9, Trent Green and the Chiefs go to Tennessee to take on the Titans on Monday Night Football.
And will Steve McNair continue to play, or are the injuries finally catching up with him? I hope he's okay.
Talked about retirement. It'll be interesting what he thinks in the spring after he's had a chance to completely heal. Short kick. Gets by Reed. He retreats to pick it up. And stops short of the 20. Boy, they brought their hitting shoes tonight. Donovan McNabb will lead out the Eagles offense. 11:57 to go in the game.
A full night of the World Series of Poker. Friday, only on ESPN.
Take it from inside the 10-yard line. The reserve wide receiver with the good block on the play by Patrick Ness. And on the run and chased on the play by Earl Little. He will take it the distance.
Comes off and Mesa, watch out. Here's your duck champ.
Wow. And there's the Minister of Defense again. You just had the birth of your first child. It wasn't. Oh, look at that shot.
Vinny is looking for the 7 here. And it is caught. Is Keyshawn Johnson. Touchdown, Dallas. Gonna give it to Jones. Through the middle, Julius Jones. Touchdown, Dallas.
Big run.
The NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. Oh, that hurts. These guys are tough. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Oh. The NFL on ESPN.
11:57 to go. More than 90,000 pumped up here in the nation's capital for the Redskins, who have closed within 3. Look at the smile on LeVar Arrington's face. He's had a bad knee almost all year long, and he's smiling tonight because his teammates are playing so well again. McNabb underneath, and the Redskins, Marcus Washington just unloads.
Yeah, T.O. gets up saying, yeah, you get the crowd into this. Marcus Washington, number 53. Catch and the whack. Oh. I mean, that's almost simultaneous. Catch, turn, whack.
He's had about 3 of those tonight, has T.O. And this defense just so full of heart.
And T.O. loves it.
Yes, he does.
Come on and hit me.
Wait a minute. Whoa. No, if he loves that, then you got to take him out and talk to him a little bit.
McNabb underneath again, and that's a good way to get a guy destroyed. You start throwing underneath to these people who are just setting themselves. Springs and Washington came after Westbrook.
But the job that this defensive line is doing, Cornelius Griffith, who didn't play in the first game, is putting a lot of pressure. Ronaldo Wynn that time around the corner again, putting pressure on Donovan McNabb. The Redskins tonight have done an excellent job of keeping Donovan in the pocket.
3rd and 3. Smoot wants to hear it from the home crowd.
All he needs to do is get burnt.
McNabb trying to run, trying to buy time. Tipped it. Smoot dropped the ball. The pass tipped by Antonio Pierce. It went right to Fred Smoot, and he couldn't hold it, and one of the Redskins is hurt.
It's Sean
and
Springs.
It's Sean Springs, who has had such a tremendous season, picked up from Seattle.
There he is, number 24, right in the middle. Now he's scrambling.
Oh!
Josh Perry. Josh Perry hits him. Wow.
I'll tell you, you know, they always talk about decleating. There must be 20 of them in this ball game alone.
Watch this on the left side of the frame. Number 49.
Oh, good grief.
Absolutely puts him out.
What a shot by Perry. That's the second enormous block he's had tonight.
Three minutes of punishment. 10 rounds of action. And sometimes you can describe them as the best rounds of the year. We're searching through our collection and choosing what we consider to be the best of Friday night fights. Every week, only on ESPN.
Take it from inside the 10-yard line. The reserve wide receiver with the good block in the play by Patrick Hess. And on the run and chased on the play by Earl Little. He will take it the distance.
Comes off and Mason, watch out. Here's your dunk champ. Wow. And there's the Minister of Defense again. You just had the birth of your first child. It wasn't. Oh, look at that shot.
Vinny is looking for the 7 here. And it is caught. Inbounds is Keyshawn Johnson. Touchdown, Dallas. Gonna give it to Jones. Through the middle, Julius Jones. Touchdown, Dallas.
Big run.
Wow, the NFL on ESPN marches towards the playoffs in Week 14 of this incredible season. It's an old-fashioned shootout when the high-powered offense of the Kansas City Chiefs take on Steve McNair and the Tennessee Titans. Chiefs-Titans live tonight on ESPN.
We are delighted to report very good news. Sean Springs is at least moving around as he took an enormous shot from Josh Perry on this scramble.
Watch the left part of your screen. That's Sean Springs on the left, and on the right is Josh Perry.
Wow. I'll tell you, I really believe that Sean Springs was knocked cold before he even hit the ground.
Never saw Perry a clean, hard play. Then you see the end of it. They're going to take every precaution. The good news, as we said, is that Springs had his knees up when he was on the ground. And, Paul, I think you're right. I think he was unconscious before he even hit the ground after that shot. And all the players on both sides immediately motioned to the sideline, and you see the concern on Perry's face.
Now, Sean Springs is a guy who spends the offseason with Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens out in Phoenix working out with these guys. I mean, there's a great competitiveness out here, but there's also a terrific compassion for the guys in the game. We talk about how hard hitting this football game. We saw it in the Pittsburgh-Jacksonville game a week ago. See the same exact thing here tonight.
And you know, the thing about Sean Springs that we always said when he played in Seattle, he always seemed to have that great ability, but he was always getting hurt. This year, he was finally healthy and has just had a magnificent season. I believe up to 4 interceptions now. Hopefully he'll he'll come away from this.
Well, I am so impressed with this defense. Now, we talked about this in the opening. Greg Williams' defense, they're ranked number 2. And I got to tell you, between Pittsburgh and this defense, they're ranked even 1 and 1A in hitting.
And the other
because
thing,
they knock your brains out.
You're hard pressed to name a starter on the Redskin defense other than Sean Taylor.
Absolutely.
I mean, it goes to show you, with the right kind of coaching and a willingness of guys, and as Andy Reid put it, just a group of worker bees who get in the right place, you can create a heck of a defense.
And one of the guys they have talked about almost all year is Antonio Pierce, the middle linebacker, who was going to be a free agent. It was a guy who was just regarded as a special teams player and is now what Joe Gibbs refers to as a core Redskin, a group of people that he can build on. And he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year and supposedly attract some very large dollars from this franchise, and they really love what he has been able to do this year. And you see Terrell Owens over there. He was earlier bending over talking to Sean Springs and wishing him the best. And there is a great brotherhood and camaraderie with a lot of these players, as Joe was just saying. These guys train together in the off season, and the last thing anybody wants to see is a serious injury. Let's check in with Chris Berman when we have a second. Chris?
Mike, Peyton Manning didn't set the touchdown pass record, although 13 straight games, 2 or more. That's a new record. To Marvin Harrison, to Reggie Wayne. Colts' lowest point total of the year, but they win the division, 23-14 at Houston.
Chris, isn't that amazing? It's the lowest point total they've had this year, 23. The Redskins didn't score over 18 in a game until last week.
Well, the Redskins went into game 12. In 12 games, they had 18 touchdowns. I mean, that's almost unheard of. That's low. You know, this whole thing, they're applauding Sean Springs now, but Fred Smoot was up dancing and trying to get the people fired up, but he was a little showboating. And that ball hits him right in the hands. I mean, there's a guy that really should feel bad because he didn't catch the ball.
Yeah, but that's Fred Smoot. He's the one guy that has any kind of personality. I mean, he would be the Terrell Owens of the Redskin. He's the guy that's talking. He's the guy that is flamboyant. We saw Coach Gibbs come over. I remember when they took me out on a stretcher. It's almost 20 years ago, and what it's like laying out there. And we just hope he's going to be okay.
And, of course, your injury, it was pretty obvious to everyone, you know, what had happened and what the outcome of that one was going to be. I mean, Sean Springs, at least he was able to move around at one point after this hit, and they're just, things have changed since you got hurt. You know, they don't take any chances with anything.
They didn't with me either. I mean, it was, the medical staff in the league is unbelievable. Look at the shot on the left part of your screen. You know, Josh Perry's the one that feels terrible. I mean, he's the one that absolutely feels terrible, I'm sure, to have hurt Sean Springs that way.
Of course, they will immobilize everything, and we will get, if it's possible, we will get an update for you on his medical condition.
There's he waving.
That's great.
Wow. Man, that is terrific to see.
And even with that, even with the ability to move the extremities, they're not going to take any chances. And now we've got guys pushing and shoving.
Well,
and
this is stupid. Number 45, Mike Sellers is, I mean, why would you even want to do this? J.R. Reed is standing there, and he pushes him in the face on the ground. It's going to cost him 15 yards, and they were in great field position. This is stupid.
That's where you start to not become a Joe Gibbs core guy, when you don't use your brain.
Oh, this is when you're on the next bus out of town.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 45 of the receiving team. 15-yard penalty.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what somebody does to you.
Watch this. Don't look at this. He just throws him down and right in front of the referee. And here's the flag. Now, what did I do? What did you do?
The only thing he can be thinking is the play is still going on, and it's a punt, and he's trying to block for it. That's the only excuse I can think of. Otherwise, it's about a 9 on the dumb meter.
Let's go back to the first quarter when he was called for a face mask penalty also. So far, Sellers has cost the Redskins 30 yards in offense tonight.
And they're only behind by 3 points.
I mean, they had great field position. They were at the 50-yard line.
Redskins now with a season-high 12 penalties. Portis to get about 3, dragged down by Jeremiah Trotter.
See, this is the problem with this offense. I know you have Clinton Portis, and he has over 1,000 yards, and he's going towards 1,100. But the problem is in this ball game, he's not even averaging close to 5 yards a carry. And if you're going to have him not run with the ball, and they're stopping to run, play action means nothing. You're not holding anybody.
Yeah, but they got 3 yards. Hey, it's not bad considering the way things have been going.
That pass is incomplete. And Coles is going to pick it up to make sure that it wasn't a lateral. And Sam Rayburn was putting the pressure on. Now it's 3rd and 7 in a 3-point game. And Ramsey went down again.
Patrick Ramsey barely got that quick screen off because Sam Rayburn was right on top of him.
And Rayburn, even though you may not be that familiar with him, out of Tulsa, has played well when he's had the opportunity. And a lot of guys on that defensive line, because of injuries tonight, getting opportunities. Ramsey, what a catch by Betts, but he will come up a yard shy because of the defensive Roderick Hood, and the Redskins will have to send on the punt team.
I think Patrick Ramsey has hurt his finger. I mean, you can see him squeezing that right hand, putting it behind him, looking at it. Looks like he might have lost a little feeling in it.
His pride isn't doing too good either. Look at these kickers. This is the worst punting exhibition I've ever seen.
Wynn will pick it up and get it out of bounds. I mean, Tupa has kicked some stuff that hasn't gotten 5 or 6 feet up in the air.
I'm assuming, okay, I'm just assuming, after what we saw Antoine Randall do, he's doing it on purpose. Tom Tupa's not that bad a kicker.
No, he's been around forever.
I think he's doing that on purpose.
Well, you would hope so.
Yeah, no, that's the way you punt it. That is the way punters punt.
I didn't even punt it that far.
Oh, well, 1 yard.
Shh. It's a record.
Yes, it is.
How many records do you have?
One. I have one.
Okay, so we each have one as punters.
Yeah.
Redskins have managed to keep this offense of the Eagles off the field.
Eagles backed up to their 24. And they'll keep it on the ground with Westbrook. If you joined us late, here's the way the game went. The Redskins got a great kickoff return to start the game. Portis scored. Donovan McNabb with a short touchdown pass. That was within the first 3 minutes. We didn't have another one until the second half when Dorsey Levin scored. And now those have been the touchdowns. Philadelphia has only run the ball 6 times in the second half. McNabb with plenty of time. That one is incomplete. Pinkston ran into Walt Harris, and the officials are going to let this one go. They said it was...
They got their feet tangled up.
Exactly, which is something that's never called in Pinkston. He is really upset about it.
Incidental contact, Mike. You just take a look at it. Pinkston's going to try to cut inside, and neither guy, I mean, they're just going for the ball.
Boy,
absolutely.
These Redskin corners do a great job. Fred Smoot, Sean Springs, of course, Harris is in there because you saw Sean Springs being hurt. They do a great job of getting their head around to find the ball.
McNabb on 3rd down, underneath, incomplete. Pass too low for Westbrook. The Redskins were there anyhow. And Joe, back to your earlier point, they've done a tremendous job keeping McNabb in the pocket and making him throw underneath.
Donovan McNabb he'll destroy you if you let him get out and run around. Now, they've managed to contain him. He's thrown a lot of balls short and a lot of balls high. He's not had an accurate night.
Johnson to kick to Thrash. Thrash gets it to the 33-yard line after a 44-yard punt. And Quentin Michael downfield to make the tackle on special teams. They only held the ball 47 seconds on that drive. Who was the Sunday stud today? Bettis, Bowler, Boulware, Duckett, or Manning? Got a chance to vote tonight, and it's Kyle Bowler. 33.8%. We will see him next Saturday. 2 games.
Next week.
One of those. Saturday in Atlanta, Sunday Indianapolis, and the Ravens will go in there. Kyle Bowler had a career high today. Portis underneath. makes the catch up to the 39-yard line. Jeremiah Trotter with the tackle.
Again, that's a good job by Patrick Ramsey. And you know, Patrick doesn't feel like he's auditioning for the job, although he is. When I played for Joe Gibbs, even though you win a championship, it doesn't matter. He's going to continue to put pressure on you and continue to want you to play well. Patrick Ramsey doing a nice job of just dumping the ball off.
That Philadelphia defense has not had a sack, has not forced a turnover. That has not happened under Andy Reid and Jim Johnson, and that'll do it.
Hugh Douglas.
Boy, I'm going to tell you what, Michael.
How's that for timing?
This is one of the great plays. Hugh Douglas goes up over, and then he's on the ground and reaches out and makes the tackle.
And a flag.
Tripping. Defense number 53.
Whoa, no sack.
A 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you what.
In the spot of the foul.
Watch Hugh Douglas what he does here. It's the only way he can get, and they're going to call him tripping, and he moves over. Now he whips his leg out. I mean, he should have been under control.
Resourceful.
But that is a terrific play.
Athletic and resourceful.
Yes.
Well, he loses the sack, picks up a 10-yard penalty, and it's a first down for the Redskins.
And a pat on the back by everybody on his team for hustle.
So the Redskins up to the 47, the clock becoming a factor, 7:08 left in this game. Portis. Dawkins grabbed a hold of the jersey, wouldn't let go. It's a gain of 9.
Now, Brian Dawkins talked about the addition of Jeremiah Trotter coming back and said, you know, we were a confident team, but Trotter gave us a comfort level to know that he was back. Remember, Jeremiah Trotter was let go at the age of 24 by the Eagles with 2 Pro Bowls under his belt. Now he's back. Hugh Douglas went to Jacksonville. Now he's back.
Portis again, trying for the first down, and he'll be close. Let's see where they spot it.
If they mark it at the 47, he's got it.
The way you have to look at this football game, with both teams having their full complements of timeouts, you've got to figure that for the Redskins, it's this possession and maybe another one. So you're going to have to get something done here. Get yourself close enough to put yourself in a position to be able to make a play.
Under 6 minutes to go, third and less than a yard. No lead blocker for Portis. And they really jam it up. He didn't even get close.
He lost almost a yard.
And that was a slow developing run and gave the Eagles a chance to fill.
Well, Javon Curse again. He may not be the biggest guy out there, but watch this. I mean, his penetration is unbelievable. He was double-teamed, Javon Curse, number 93, at the line of scrimmage, and still made the play in the backfield.
Boy, and the crowd really started to boo because the punt team came on, and now Joe Gibbs is going to take a timeout. They didn't give it to him. And Tupa, and I think you're right, this is something that Tupa had done earlier in the ball game, is hit those low-line drives. Obviously, when he wants to unload on one, he can. Thrash tried to save it at the goal line, couldn't. It's a 44-yarder.
The low-line drives seemed like they were working.
You're right.
I mean, they really were. Now you
It's just nice to know they're on purpose.
Well, I thought that. We talk about the Redskins.
You guys really think that they were on purpose?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do. Honest. Well, he just kicked that one well because he wanted to, Paul.
1 out of 8.
That's okay. The other were by choice. When you talk about the Redskins, I really believe the one thing that keeps drives alive is converting third and shorts. They do not have a hammer. When I had a chance to play, I had John Riggins. If it was third and one, if it wasn't blocked, John was going to run over somebody. The Redskins don't have that big back. They don't have the big fullback as a blocker.
Well, now it's up to their defense. As you said earlier, they have the full complement of timeouts. 4:59 to go. They have to make another stand right here and get the ball back if they want a chance to win this game. McNabb. Owens Too low down around his ankles, couldn't make the catch. Let's go to Susie.
Mike, here's the latest on Shawn Springs. First of all, the good news is he is going to be okay. Right now, the team waiting on x-rays. He suffered a concussion. He was indeed knocked out. But everything that you saw was all for precautionary reasons because he did have movement in all his extremities. The brutal part of the game, his mom coming to the locker room with tears in her eyes, being comforted by the team chaplain, LeVar Arrington, John Jansen, waiting outside for the results. But again, the good news is it looks like Shawn Springs will be okay. We'll let you know what the results are of the x-rays.
Thank you, Susie. That's just great, and it's wonderful news for the Redskins. And so is that as Sean Taylor comes up, wipes out Westbrook, and it's going to be 3rd and long. You see the smile on Donovan McNabb's face. He just loves to play this game.
And so does Sean Taylor. Speaking of Shawn Springs was talking about Sean Taylor, and he called him the greatest football player that he has ever played with. And it's evidence of how good this young rookie has a chance to be.
And Shawn Springs has a lot of close friends in the stands. He grew up in Silver Spring, Maryland, just a hoot and a holler down the road. Screen to Westbrook. And the Redskins defend it well and take him out of bounds at the 27. And here comes the Eagles punt team.
I'll tell you what, Jermaine.
That's
Haley almost knocks this ball down. Watch to the outside. Look at 96. He's covered. He almost makes the play.
Donovan McNabb in the 4th quarter, only 3 out of 8, 12 yards and an interception. Thrash is going to let that one go. Then he tried to pick it up because it had already hit an Eagle, and it wouldn't have mattered what he had done. Join us for a full weekend of NFL football starting Saturday on ESPN at 8 Eastern with NFL Prime Time, and then 2 games that mean an awful lot for the playoffs. The Panthers, they're back in it. Go to Atlanta to tangle with Michael Vick and the Falcons, who are going for home field advantage. Then Sunday, prime time at 7:30. Then Ray Lewis and the Ravens against Peyton Manning and the Colts on Sunday Night Football at 8:30. 2 great games. Hope you can join us next weekend. It is going to be spectacular.
Playoff implications.
3:58 to go. Redskins need a field goal to tie. They throw underneath, and Lavernius Coles taken down just as soon as he makes the catch to Honey Jones, the first tackle. Here's the AFC story. Pittsburgh and New England 12-1 each. San Diego and Indianapolis 10-3. Those are the AFC division leaders. The 2 wild card leaders, the Jets and the Ravens. Denver would be next, but they'll need help. Ramsey under pressure.
Oh no.
And then takes the sack. What a terrible decision by Ramsey, and Darwin Walker will get the tackle, and there's a penalty flag down as well.
There's going to be
He could not take a sack in that situation.
Sorry, Mike. Yeah, there were going to be a holding penalty on top of it, but the worst part about it is taking the sack. He refused this penalty because they sacked him for almost 10 yards. Look at the pit. Look at them move the offensive line back.
Offense number 77. Penalties declined.
That was Sam Rayburn, number 91.
3rd down.
He's hit Patrick Ramsey a couple of times. You know, Patrick Ramsey is not Donovan McNabb. When Patrick Ramsey gets outside, the thing that he should do, in particular going to his left, is just unload the football.
3rd and 15.
Redskins may be in a 2-down situation.
Ramsey with time, throws down the middle, it's complete to Cooley. I don't know how you can hit something for 32 yards at this point when you haven't hit on the entire game.
The Eagles they make what I think is a cardinal sin. They play zone. They play soft zone. They rush 4 guys, and they go play zone. Well, and Cooley winds up in the middle of the football field with only Michael Lewis somewhere in the neighborhood.
Well, I'll tell you, here's Michael Lewis with another great shot on Cooley, and he hung on to the ball.
And he was wide open, and Ramsey got him the ball, a 1st down. The drive stays alive. Coles again. This time he's spun down by the corner Sheldon Brown after a gain of maybe 3.
You know what? If I'm a receiver, a back, or anything in this game, I'd have gone to the quarterbacks in the first quarter. And I was going to say, look, do me a favor. Don't throw any short stuff at me, please.
I'm getting
going to kill me.
I'm getting a mouthpiece, a big mouthpiece to bite on.
Because they're getting killed. I mean, it's unbelievable.
That will take us to the 2-minute warning. Redskins at the Eagle 36 and driving.
Simply the finest football on the planet. The top clubs. The elite players. In a quest for the ultimate prize of European football. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN. The NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. These guys are tough. The NFL on ESPN.
On ESPN Tuesday night, an all-star matchup on a special night. The champion Detroit Pistons travel to New York to battle one of the best in the East. Pistons versus Knicks live Wednesday night. The NBA on ESPN. Best of Friday night fights on ESPN. After conquering the USBA light heavyweight title, James Harlem Hammer Butler wanted to avenge an early defeat in his career against Richard the Alien Grant. Friday on ESPN. A full night of the World Series of Poker. Friday only on ESPN.
Stuart Scott and Steve Levy standing by for Sports Center. Got a record? How about a game that was too tough for Eli, perhaps, and another tough game for the Vikings? Speaking of tough games, this has been a beauty. 2 minutes to go. Redskins 2nd and 9 from the Eagle 36. Ramsey underneath to Cooley. Cooley dives for the first down, and they are going to mark it just short when it appeared that Cooley dove and had enough.
But the good thing is he got out of bounds. That's the thing. He does get out of bounds, so you don't have to waste a timeout. You still have plenty of time on the clock. You see him just...
He wasn't out of bounds.
Yeah, but the Redskins can't challenge it anyway, because inside 2 minutes, it's going to have to come from the booth.
It can be challenged from upstairs. Let's see if they do.
Here the Redskins still in the huddle with 9 seconds to go. Now they have to waste a timeout.
That's
Again,
just awful.
A very poor job of managing the clock. In that kind of a situation, Patrick Ramsey's got to take control of that offense.
Best of Friday night fights on ESPN. After conquering the USBA light heavyweight title, James Harlem Hammer Butler wanted to avenge an early defeat in his career against Richard the Alien Grant. Friday on ESPN. On ESPN Tuesday night, an all-star matchup on a special night. The champ